So is Crimson Realm worth it? That's what you're wondering, especially going into this weekend with the PSO2 Ultra Triple Day Premium going on right now. And we'll address it now that we've had two rotations of both Belugana and Lost Central. Well, not two rotations, but a rotation of each. So that way we can really see what's going on and kind of come to a full conclusion there. And so pretty much my conclusion would be it is underwhelming. However, it is still very good and very efficient depending on what you're trying to do, what you're trying to get done. And so basically Crimson Realm changes every day, similar to how Lucille does. So now Lucille changes every day. Crimson Realm changes every day. It's Kavaris' gimmick. This was talked about before. This is Kavaris' gimmick. So it changes every day between Lost Central and between Belugana Ruins. So it just depends on which one you want to do, and so that's how that runs. So basically, you're going to focus on the T's in Crimson Realm, and the T's have a chance of popping a unique T, and also you have a chance of popping a unique boss. Now, killing this unique boss is kind of where it gets tricky because you need people who are kind of geared in order to clear this thing. And the thing about this is that it's similar to Lucille in that the lower you get it, so the closer you get to killing it, the better the rewards. So if you're not in a group, aka a pub, if you're not in a group that's not very efficient, doesn't really know what they're doing, doesn't really know how to play their class, is not properly geared, you don't have to be max geared, but you have to be properly geared. If you don't have that, then you're going to heavily struggle getting clears on that boss consistently. And you might be like, well, it doesn't really matter, you get rewards regardless anyway. From what I saw, it matters greatly. Clearing that boss and not clearing that boss consistently really makes or breaks Crimson Realm on if it's really worth your time. If you have a solid group in there and you're running that and you're killing that boss consistently every single time, well worth it. Absolutely, because it was like night and day. You know, when you're only getting to 50% or 25% rewards, you know, like at 25 I was getting like double Inus, right? And then, you know, when we would kill it, multiple of us got 10-star weapons. I mean, multiple. I saw multiple drop, including myself. You see what I'm saying? So obviously the 10-star rate on the weapons is definitely increased by killing it. It's definitely highly increased. So if you have a solid group, then it easily becomes very great. If you're not killing the boss, you may opt to just do Rage or Gorge. You might have a better outcome in terms of getting Inias and Rayars with fixes on them during PSO2 Ultra 2 Premium Day. You know, it might be the better option for you. Now, once PSO2 Ultra Premium Day is over, probably be better to go back to the PSE, to the Crimson, and, you know, stack up the notes and stuff like that, because we're not getting that preset skill boost anyway. So, but in my experience from the time spending in Belugana and Lost Central, and then I went to Ridgewood Gorge, I kind of ended up spending more time in Ridgewood Gorge because pub lobbies just cannot get the job done and killing that boss consistently. So it just didn't feel like the efficient method. So fortunately on my ship, these lobbies in Ridgewood Gorge are still being populated, still 32 players. However, I know that this probably is not the case on some of the other ships that are less populated. So this might be more difficult and might be forced to stay in the PSE zones. So that would be my input and recommendation there. Personally, I was fortunate enough that ship one does have a nice little population who was running Ridgewood Gorge. So it was easy to go in there and have success with it. And you get some good drops and some fixes on some Inias and all the like. So, but let's wrap around, because understand really what Crimson Realm is. The best way to understand this is by looking back at the interview that happened last month, in which was stated where they asked about Redem Al Nothe, and the director was discussing about it, saying that no, he has no plans on changing the Redem Al Nothe, but instead he wants to create other battle sections that serve that same type of purpose to get people out of Al Nothe and so on and so. So when you look at this quote, when you look at what he said, what Kimura said, you see this Crimson Realm is actually a great example of that, because realistically speaking, if we have a seasonal coming out, which I'm sure we will have a seasonal coming out very soon, this would be great for farming seasonal points. Period. It would. A lot of times you get 3 PSEs back to back to back. It would be absolutely amazing for farming seasonal points. So consider that moving forward as well. Really consider that. Don't get just a tunnel vision and nearsighted here on what we see right here. Think about how this can be implemented and how it will work as we have other content roll out and whatnot. So I do think that this will serve as another Alnothe purpose, because it is great. If if you're trying to make, you get the passive Meseta. Of course, you get the augments, which the augments are cheap now anyway, so those don't really apply to anything. The biggest thing of what you're getting in here is your fixes on your Ina armors, whether you're selling them. I got a couple yesterday. I've made probably like a quick like 3 million, because I got some fixes on some Ina Vios. You know what I'm saying? So this is a great way, to just get some money real quick. So. But primarily that's what you're doing, is you're getting your Inas and you're getting your Rayars there, as well as mats for a high Kavar dominance. Those are the other big things, because you need Belagana notes and you need the Lost Central notes to make high Kavar Domina. So that's what you're really aiming at there, and that's what you're really walking away with there, on top of doing your PSEs, getting in this Meseta, this passive Meseta, and your high increased chances of Inas and Rayars. So that's really where it's at. So, by the way, one of the drawbacks that you will notice when you're farming in Lost Central or Belugana is the gold prim swords. Dude, if you do not have premium, so like if you don't have access to auto sell, this is actually very problematic, because those things stack up so greatly, right? My temp drop source isn't full, right? I don't know. It's like without quickly. Oh my goodness, it was full. Bro, oh my goodness, this is an issue. This is an actual issue, bro. When you get like 3 PSEs in a row, I'm not even kidding you, because I wasn't using auto sell before this. I actually started using it after I came to the Crimson Realm. I wasn't using it before this, and I'm not even kidding you. My inventory and my temporary drop storage was filling up entirely. Like from 0 to full entirely within a segment of PSEs. Because remember, this a lot of times in this you get like 3 PSEs back to back to back, and it was quickly becoming an issue. So without the auto sell, dude, like I don't even know how you go about that. You're constantly in your inventory having to go manually sell these things. So it's like, that is definitely an issue there. Like 100%, that is an issue for someone who's not premium, who doesn't have ready access to auto sell. Of course, they have these auto sell passes that you can get, well, that they give out. Or I'm not sure where I got these, but for an hour auto sell, maybe they're from the mission pass. But I mean, that works, if you're going to go for an hour, and if you have a lot of them already stacked up. But if you don't have these things, dude, I do not know what you were going to do about your inventory, because there's so many of them drop. They just fill up your inventory like that. Like it's absurdly quick, as you can see. It's absurdly quick. So I think that's probably my biggest thing. Like for people, like I'm looking out for people who don't have access to that, and how problematic that can be. So that's one thing to note about that as well. That's a heavy nuisance. Ultimately, I feel that it is a little underwhelming, namely because the drops aren't necessarily, the drops don't feel as fruitful. It's like if the new augments weren't so readily, weren't just like tossed to you, stuff like that, it would make more sense, because then you're farming it and they can sell for something, right? But that's not the case, because they're like 1K, they drop like that. So that's not the case. So because of that, it does feel a bit underwhelming in that regard. But all around, like I said before, to go full circle, depends on what you're trying to do. if you're trying to max your fixes out, if you're trying to get multiple weapons or whatnot, and get fixes on those weapons, if you're trying to get fodder material, if you're doing these things, then this is of course the great method on top of your standard PSing in general, like as if you were in Alnothe, passive Meseta and whatnot. So it really just depends on what your purpose is, but that's really entirely what the game is. Depends on what you're trying to do. Depends on what you're trying to get done. Will highly, will highly steer you in which lane that you need to be driving in. Depending on what you want to do. Many people want different things. Some people just want to spend all the money on fashion. Some people want to gear up to max potency. Some people want to get their fixes high. Some people want to build weapons for every single class. Depends on what you want to do. It's an MMO, y'all. You don't have to play the same way as everyone, and you shouldn't, because that will make you hate the game. Play how you want to play the game. But anyways, that's my input on Crimson Realm. So be sure to enjoy it, especially while this the PSO2 Ultra Triple Day Burst Premium is going on. Be sure to enjoy it then, for sure. Be sure to like and subscribe if this helped out, if this was informative, or if you just support the growth of positive good vibes within the gaming sphere. And I will see y'all in the next one. Holla.
Spikesu content.